because it's okay to feel like a straggler in a race. Sometimes we all fall behind the pack. I bet you feel as if you have scraped your knees, and it probably feels like blood is trickling down your legs. The pain is excruciating, and you feel like you're barely able to walk, don't you, cuz? But I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. If you can't walk and you can't crawl, cry out to the Lord. Tell him that you can't go on. He will meet you right where you are. If you're scared at the twists and turns of the road, tell the Lord. If you don't think you have the strength to go up the hill, ask the Lord for the strength. Ask him to carry you, but don't give up on the race. You may be tempted to take a shortcut during the race, and it may seem less painful, but I can tell you that you only cheat yourself. If you try a shortcut, you don't get to experience the road that the Lord had for you, with all its trials and tribulations in hand. See, with trials comes strength and endurance. You gain wisdom, compassion, and trust in the Lord. When you endure the route set before you, what words do you want to hear when you cross the finish line? Kermit shook me and looked at me dead in the eye. "Cuz," then he said, "I know what I want to hear. Job well done, good and faithful servant. I want to hear the Lord say you trusted me and you ran the race I had planned for you. Well done, well done." How does a runner keep going when they feel extremely weak? Isn't that like being dehydrated as a runner? They should just quit, right? Kermit puffed out his chest and said, "No way, cuz. In the Christian walk, we are called to persevere. That is the time when you need to ask for help from others around you. They will encourage you and help carry you during the race. You're discouraged, but that's the perfect time to hang out with other Christians. Trust me, you'll feel stronger every time you meet. You'll be focused and have the Lord's strength to endure. Your life will glorify God. Only worry about taking one step at a time, cuz you must not waver. You're a Christian, right? Hold fast to the confession of your hope. Draw near to God and make sure your heart is sincere and full of assurance of faith. He who promised is faithful. Christ sacrificed himself for you and me. You don't want to be like those runners who run backwards, do you? It reminds me of what I studied in Hebrews. The Christian Jews had trouble focusing on what was promised and kept looking backwards. It's like watching a runner run backwards. They think they're moving forwards, but they are fixed on looking in the past. Because you want to be a runner who has our eyes fixed on the prize, Jesus. We must look beyond our circumstances and put our feelings behind. Christians must look at the obstacles in their lives with God's focus in mind. Your life is important because God has a plan for you. He will use your life for his glory. Away, I could hear the dog already starting to go crazy. My hands were trembling. and my heart was beating fast. I slowed my pace until I got to the edge of the driveway. Then my fears became real. That mean dog wasn't on a leash. As I walked towards the house, the dog went crazy. He was foaming at the mouth and began jumping up and down wildly. Then he kept going back and forth, acting like he was protecting his territory. I couldn't skip delivery that day because I had an extra package for the resident. As I took a step forward, it dawned on me that this vicious, yapping dog was staying on his property and only following the outline of the yard. Suddenly, I thought to myself, you know what, girl? Why are you so afraid? You're bigger than he is. I had had enough of harassment. So I dropped my mail bag and I lunged forward and I raised my arms up to the sky like Karate Kid. And I roared at the dog with words that had no meaning. I did. Not knowing what to expect from the dog, I stayed in the configuration like the Green Hulk. Do you know what that dog did? Girlfriends, can you believe that that dog immediately stopped barking and rolled over on his back with his tail between his legs? And he looked at me as if to say, please don't hurt me. I couldn't believe it. That little half chihuahua, I don't know what dog. It's true. It is true. That little half whatever dog harassed me for weeks and caused me to be afraid and sick to my stomach was nothing but an imposter. He had a big bark and that's about it. Well, I can tell you I learned a valuable lesson that day. I picked up my mail bag and calmly told that dog to get back into the yard, and he turned and ran as fast as he could and sat on the porch with his head in his paws. Sisters, I can't tell you how good that felt. After that, I had an extra pep in my step, and it almost seemed like I was skipping down the street. I finished my route early that day.